All right, folks, we have what is being touted as a new era for the XRP Ledger. This is being introduced by Ripple. I want to get into this update after we cover the economic data that just came out today. Inflation is coming down. Let me know how that makes you feel back home, as I don't know about you guys, but the compounded inflation is still eating away at all of our savings. And what we're seeing right now is, although some things are cooling off, we're still well above the 2% target for the core. But of course, the mainstream media, the talking head pundits, now it's a absolute certainty. There's just not a chance in any other reality that we don't get a Fed rate cut this September meeting. The question now, and we're expecting Fed Chair Powell to lay the groundwork for what we can expect as far as how big of a rate cut it's going to be at his Jackson Hole, Wyoming speech next week. So it's a certainty on rate cuts. How big is it going to be? That's the remaining question. How are the markets reacting in a new era for the XRP Ledger? Folks, let's get started right away. If you appreciate my content, please make sure you have subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. I got an interview that's going to be playing tonight. I'm about to record it here in the next hour or so, and I'm going to set that one to run tonight. I'll be in the chat watching it and responding live with you guys. Looking forward to that one. Probably going to run it at about 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Let's rock and roll, folks. This is the data we get today. Consumer Price Index, the CPI, coming in year over year, dropping to 2.9%, below expectations of 3%, which is what we had for our CPI last month. The last reading was 3%. We finally are bringing this thing back down. And even for the core CPI year over year, we bring it back down, but it's in line with expectations, which were already at 3.2%. This is down from 3.3% last month. So similar reading that we got last month, we're down by 0.1%. Everybody now believes it's a certainty. There's no alternative reality that takes place where we don't get a Fed rate cut in September. Fed Powell to set table for September rate cut at Jackson Hole, but jobs data will set the size. So now we know that inflation's coming back down. Okay, he's defeated. He can claim victory on inflation, even though we're well away from the 2% target. But now it's going to be determined by the jobs market to decide whether it's going to be a 25 basis or a 50 basis point. I don't think that anybody who is rational is expecting anything more than a 50 basis point cut once again, and that would be your 0.25%, 25 basis points, and 50 basis points is your 0.5%, just to simplify that one for everybody in the audience today. The details won't be set until the Fed sees the August employment data on September 6th, but we are waiting. He's expected to give a speech next Friday at the Jackson Hole, Wyoming meeting. The tradition is for the Fed Chair Powell to open up the weekend festivities in Jackson Hole with an opening speech. So we are going to be waiting for that one and watching closely. In the meantime, let's take a look at our markets. Gold getting beat up. If you've been looking for gold and silver on sale, well, this is after gold went and set a new all-time high. Once again, a triple top at this level just below 2,500. We're going to watch this one closely. And remember, it's funny because we were watching the triple top that we set above 2,000, right? When we were trying to break above 2,100. Now gold's set a triple top here, looking to break 2,500. But we got a sell-off taking place for both gold and silver today. It's on sale, and you can get it through my website, zachrector.com. Stock market back up. Dow Jones, everything's fine. NASDAQ 100 was up, cooling back off right now. S&P 500, same thing, still a green candle on the daily. Okay, and this has been a rally after we cleared things out and had a full panic last week. Now everything's okay. Now we're getting rate cuts. But the problem is, in the conversation that's starting to come about now, is are we headed into a recession? Now the recession fears are starting to grow. Now, a $59,000 Bitcoin, we did one of these deals where we get a pump up into the CPI release up to 61.5, and then they cleared this thing out back below 59,000. Big volatility coming in for cryptocurrency today. XRP back down below 57 cents briefly. Back up above 57 right now as I'm recording this one. We'll continue to watch. Let's continue. When you look at this data a little bit further, while July CPI inflation is at 2.9%, inflation is much higher in many basic necessities. Car insurance inflation still at 18.6. Transportation inflation at 8.8, hospital services 6.1, homeowner inflation 5.3, rent inflation 5.1, electricity 4.9, car repair 4.6, food away from home inflation 4.1%. Since January 2020, the US dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power. And this is what I mean, the compounding inflation versus and added to the compounding devaluation of the dollar as well. The purchasing power being lost. This is compounding for 3 consecutive years, and prices are still rising. Many basic necessities are now luxuries. Many folks, as we're watching, credit card payments at all-time high. This is an economy that I already believe is in a recession based off of the jobs numbers, unemployment, and also the earnings recession. I'm going to be making some statements and talking about the Starbucks CEO stepping down. I'm going to comment on that and how they've had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. That's an earnings recession, right? This is an earnings recession that's hitting some of the best companies in America right now. And this is, big changes happening behind the scenes where we have insiders selling off, insiders jumping ship, buying yachts. Zuckerberg's, what is he doing? Islands, or he's doing tunnels. I forget. They're doing islands, tunnels, bunkers. They're doing it all. Yachts. But what are they all doing across the board as well? Dumping stock, moving to cash. And this is what I believe is happening here is the rich and the tapped in understand what's coming. Jamie Dimon was talking about an economic hurricane back in 2022 when everybody thought that it was crazy to talk about a recession. Everything was at all-time high. Jamie Dimon was letting everybody know what's coming. It's an economic hurricane. Nobody wanted to accept it. Jamie Dimon's the a-hole that nobody wants to listen to. Well, he was telling us the truth. And here we are right in the middle of the economic hurricane. And the weatherman, in this case is the talking head pundits on mainstream media, are telling you that everything's fine. Sunshine's coming tomorrow, even though we haven't even entered the eye of the storm yet. Just because GDP's up, just because inflation's coming back down, relatively speaking, it's still a tough situation out there, and I think it's going to get squeezed out a little bit more. Correction before the election is coming. It already started. You saw a glimpse of it last week, and there's still a lot more that we got to get through before we're in the clear. You guys let me know in the comments down below what your vibe is on the economy right now. What your vibe is on inflation right now. Let's talk crypto. This is the problem. We still have bankruptcies. We still have Silk Road Bitcoin being moved around. That's what I'm reporting on here today. 10,000 Silk Road Bitcoin, nearly $500 million or over $500 million worth of Bitcoin being moved to Coinbase Prime. This is a wallet that received 10,000 Bitcoin from a known U.S. government wallet 2 weeks ago. This Bitcoin has just been sent out to 33J, a Coinbase Prime deposit wallet. So what is going to happen here? And now this is interesting. Coinbase is actually getting in trouble. They're being sued or being reported by some watchdog group for basically campaign finance violations because they have donated to these PACs, and they've done so while they're also working and kind of under some sort of contract with the government and the marshals in the Department of Justice to be able to custody this seized Bitcoin and other seized assets, like other digital assets that the government has seized. They got to deal with the government. And so now a watchdog group's coming at them for this. I'm going to be talking about this with my guest in the interview that I'm going to be recording in the next hour. So make sure I'm hoping to get a little bit more insight on this. But anyways, something to watch here. More Bitcoin on the move, more Bitcoin whales. We got ETH disguised whales, a whole lot of crypto moving around in regards over there. And it's a problem for those who are trying to, find some footing here in the Bitcoin, Ethereum cryptocurrency market. Well, I wanted to make a point here with this news and data point here. $2.8 trillion asset manager Goldman Sachs discloses 418 million Bitcoin ETF holdings. I'm going to talk about this XRP US dollar futures contract that just got launched. We talked about it yesterday. But what's important to understand is that the news coming out here today and that we've seen over the past couple months where these asset managers are coming out and revealing, oh yeah, we have 400 million in Bitcoin spot ETF holdings. Yeah, of course, we picked up a big bag. What's happening is this gets released after the fact. And so the same thing's going to happen for XRP. While we're seeing the futures contracts come out, that's the precursor. That's what you need is liquid established futures markets, and then you get a spot ETF. So it's a step in the next direction towards that spot ETF. But you're not going to see them announcing it. Oh yeah, we're backing up the truck on XRP right now. You're not going to hear that. It's not going to be admitted until it's already too late. For example, for Bitcoin, it's already made its move up to 74,000, a new all-time high back in March. That was 2 months after the ETF trading went live, where Bitcoin went to a new all-time high. A little bit of a pre-halving pump, very typical. And what Bitcoin did is something that it's never done before, though, pre-halving pump, but it went to a new all-time high. But you're not finding out about how big these asset managers went in on Bitcoin until months later. And so this is something that we need to watch as these XRP ETF rumors are on the way. It's basically already here. And we're watching the futures market get established, and the ETF comes next. Now, a little bit more diving into this futures contract that Bitnomial launched. This is Bill Morgan. And if you look here, it says on average, the monthly XRP trade is over 85 billion on XRP cash markets. Bitnomial proposal spot month position limit of 300 million XRP or 3,000 XRP future contract equivalents. It states this represents only 0.049% of the total deliverable supply. See, what's interesting about this is a physically settled futures contract where you get paid out, not in cash. You might have the option for cash too, but these are physically delivered cryptocurrency asset futures contracts. So they're physically settled with the underlying asset, right? So in this platform had only Bitcoin futures contracts and options contracts before this. Now they skipped over Ethereum, skipped over Solana, and they're going straight to XRP. And each one of their contracts represents 100,000 XRP. And so that's why they're saying that their spot month position limit of 300 million XRP or 3,000 XRP futures contracts, because each one of those contracts represents 100,000 XRP. And once again, this is physically delivered, meaning they have to have the XRP. 300 million XRP is about what Ripple uses from the monthly escrow release, less than 0.5%. Another blow to the Ripple dumps FUD narrative. And this is something that we've been breaking through as well, too, cutting through all the nonsense and the FUD. Folks trying to say that Ripple's dumping on us. No, this is less than 0.5% of the monthly cash markets. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Nearly 61% of XRP is in circulation, and Bitnomial has a U.S. clearinghouse license as well. This is getting very, very interesting. Here's the report here. They submitted it and notified the CFTC. And here is where it says the ex-US contract is a physically settled margin futures contract based on the price of 100,000 XRP. Folks, it's getting exciting out here. Now, I also wanted to mention this one, opening of Ripple's new office in Geneva, Switzerland. This is, where the elites keep a lot of their money, right? A lot of wealth in Switzerland. With a regulatory environment that embraces innovation, Switzerland is a leading center of our industry and for Ripple's custody business in particular. Now, it is no longer Medico. It is no longer standard custody. It is now Ripple Custody. That is the product. That is the solution. And some of the largest institutions in the world are definitely going to be tapping into Ripple's custody solutions. We already know that the HSBC deal to tokenize gold, that's still on board. It was done with Medico. Ripple acquired the company. The deal's still on. We know that Standard Custody and Trust had some partners as well, and it's set to expand here dramatically. And what Ripple is now saying here is that we are entering a new era for the XRP Ledger. This was a blog post put out on Medium by Ripple X. Tokenization on the XRP Ledger takes a significant step forward with Ripple and Archax renewed collaboration. Let's take a look at it. Ripple and Archax, a new era for the XRP Ledger with real-world asset tokenization. This collaboration is set to bring hundreds of millions of dollars worth of tokenized real-world assets to the XRP Ledger. This collaboration is not just a milestone for Ripple and Archax, but a monumental development for builders, developers, and users within the XRP Ledger community. They are setting the standard with their stablecoin, Ripple is, and Archax is going to set a new standard for real-world assets tokenized on the XRP Ledger. And remember, this is the same CEO of Archax right here in this conversation right here, where they're talking about tokenizing $30 to $50 trillion worth of assets eventually. That's how big these markets are going to get. Now, they're coming out right from the get-go and saying that they're bringing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of RWAs, real world assets, tokenized to get started. The creation of new financial instruments. Well, this is what we just talked about with the XRP US dollar futures contract. Bitnomials getting ahead of this thing. Enhanced DeFi, the best of both worlds. Yep. Key features of the XRP Ledger for tokenization, with over 2.8 billion transactions processed, representing over 1 trillion in value moved, and over 5 million active XRP wallet holders supported by a network of 100 validators. The XRP Ledger remains as proven as ever before in its ability to handle transactions swiftly and at a low cost, making it an attractive option for institutions. And this is what I was talking about with this Bitnomial US dollar futures contract, is that right now, so far, they have all Bitcoin products. And he's touting how it's so much easier to onboard and to get your collateral on the platform, right? To participate in these futures and these options contracts, you got to show that you got collateral to be able to play. And in the old system, as it exists right now, it can take days and over a week to get your collateral on the platform just so you can start trading. Now, one of the advantages of their product and their exchange is they're saying you can send your Bitcoin and use that as your collateral, and you can get onboarded in basically 10 minutes, because Bitcoin Ledger obviously closes in about 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it can take longer. And as I stated yesterday, we take this one step further with XRP. You'd be able to onboard your collateral in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost. It doesn't get much better than that. And for the new products that are being created, what better solution? And so I think this is why this platform skipped over an Ethereum futures contract, skipped over Solana, and they're going straight to XRP. Meanwhile, we were told by everybody in Wall Street, everybody in crypto, everybody in this space was saying that there's no demand for XRP. There's going to be no XRP ETF. Couldn't be further from the truth. Now, this is where we're going to be watching a new era for the XRP Ledger. We've been talking about all these utilities being added, and it's top down with Ripple, Archax, and all the institutions building on top of the XRP Ledger, but it's also bottom up with smaller retail and smaller developers, smaller companies that are also choosing the XRP Ledger as well. It's the best of both worlds. And so you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think about these developments here. We got Ripple launching a new office in Switzerland for custody. I mean, this is where the elite keep their money, right? Pretty good spot to be for a custody solution. And then we also have a new era of tokenization coming to the XRP Ledger. I also want to mention you have the bridge that's being built with the Acceler, right? So Archax is this company that's doing the tokenization of real world assets, but then you have Acceler Network, which is the bridge to over 50 blockchains. So instead of us just getting the EVM sidechain for, basically bringing over Ethereum and smart contracts to the XRP Ledger, instead of just getting the EVM sidechain, now we're getting tapped in with over 50 bridges to other blockchains as well. This it's not hype. It's nothing crazy. It's totally reasonable to be describing this as a new era for the XRP Ledger, on top of the legal clarity that the underlying asset XRP has and the clarity that Ripple now has the green light to start selling XRP to institutions in ways that is not an investment contract going forward. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think of these developments. It's getting me excited despite price action being down today. Remember, today's price action does not reflect fundamental value of this asset and future value of this asset. So while the markets are down, I'm taking advantage of it. You guys know the deal. I got a new exchange partner as well on my website, Caleb and Brown out of Australia. We're going to be doing some conversations about them coming up in some future shows. But if you're looking to get tapped in with all of our community resources, check that out. I want to make sure you guys have some of the best options available for cryptocurrency wallets, exchanges, and for precious metals as well. 401k rollover or direct to your door. Let us know how we can help you. And you can also get tapped in with our private community. Patreon gets you access to Discord. We would love to have you. God bless all of you guys. If you appreciate what we do, smack it on the way out for me. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.